Radhe Radhe! Radhe Radhe! Today we're going to do 2 blog entries today. They're 2 shorter ones, so I was just going to combine them. So, again, it'll be from the Seattle time, about a year ago from now. And the first one is blog entry 141, and that's from 10/14 of 2023. Okay. Yesterday brought the most intense purification yet on this path in orange. A few days ago in meditation, Krishna revealed that simply wearing these robes itself a sacred way of cleansing the heart so that he can be with me wherever I am. The process is not always easy. It strips away the layers I didn't even know I was holding, yet in the middle of that stripping there are flashes of sweetness, moments where I feel Krishna's nearness so clearly it's as if the whole world softens. Swamiji once said, the first year or so is like a testing ground, a time to see if one's focus truly rests on Krishna above all else. If that center is held, then over time his presence becomes steady and permanent. In those glimpses, even through the struggle, I feel it, Krishna's love rising, gentle and irresistible. Sweet baby Krishna, wow. I remember when I wrote this blog a year ago, and the purification from, again, being in the van, not sure what to do, hanging out here in Seattle, and wearing the orange, and just like, wow, I felt like I was on fire inside and out. It was wild. Krishna still had it softer on the edges, but the purification was like so wild. It was really strong, especially around the time I wrote that blog entry. Okay, so here's the next one. Blog entry 142 from 10/15 of 2024. Today the purification kept moving through me, but it wasn't as heavy as a few days ago. When I came to the Hanuman temple, Hanuman met me directly. He looked straight into my eyes and said, "You must steady yourself, be patient, and don't try to rush this fire. You need to let it burn at its own pace." Hanuman was talking about that fire inside that was purifying everything inside of me so much at this time. I told him I felt unsure, that I didn't understand much of what was happening. He answered, "That doesn't matter. Your task is to keep practicing. Make the ground strong beneath you so Krishna can stand with you. He is waiting for the space you prepare." Later, when I stopped in at another place, the pundit explained how unusual it was for someone in orange to pass through Seattle, this area here, wandering through and teaching like this. That helped me see why people respond to me so differently. But the words of Hanuman stayed with me, his strength pressing into my chest, his voice still echoing, urging me to stand steady so Krishna can be fully present in this work we are carrying together here in Seattle. So Hanuman was amazing. At the time when I stopped into the temple, I was just like, whoa, I'm on fire and I'm not sure what's going on. He was always so steady and so patient. It was really amazing and so strong, incredibly supportive. Yeah, it was really awesome. I remember that time and I look back on it and I'm just like, wow, such a journey. I visited that Hanuman temple quite a few times, and he's always just so supportive and so happy and so nice. It's great. But in this blog entry, he was amazing just in reminding me the reason of the path and to keep the focus and that sort of thing. As we're on our spiritual journeys and as we are purifying and as the heavy lifting does come, it's part of healing and it's part of growth and it's part of moving forward. And again, I know I've mentioned this a bunch of times in blog entries, but again, it's part of the path. And if the path you're on is really helping you grow and heal and move closer to God, this will be part of it. If you are really comfortable on your path and you never feel any discomfort, you've probably outgrown it spiritually, because you should be having the experience of push, pull inside, where you're tugging and pulling to grow and purifying inside in your practice with God. And so it's important to have enough of that to keep yourself challenged, but not so much of it that the challenge kills the bliss and it kind of takes away the drive or understanding of why you're doing it. And then if you don't have any discomfort, then you probably, it's probably time for you to increase your growth, find a new teacher, add something new in, ask Radha and Krishna to help you grow more, like something, it's time to change it up. And what'll happen is as it flattens out and you become less and less challenged, you'll also feel less and less bliss. And you'll feel less and less joy and the happiness that comes, because it really has to flow. So it'll flow into challenge, it'll flow into purification, it'll get to the point it gets to until it finishes purifying in that moment and it heals. Then you'll be on the downside, you'll be headed downhill from there into the integrate, feel better, and then you'll touch the bottom, you'll get to enjoy some bliss and more connection with the divine because you've healed more. And then the next thing will come that starts challenging you to heal and grow and move forward with. And it's pretty steady in that way on your journey when you're practicing in bhakti yoga on this path, or when you're connecting with the divine in that kind of way. So it is important to kind of think about, how have you been feeling in your practice? Do you feel challenged enough? Do you feel challenged too much? Or do you not feel challenged at all? And so it's pretty important to kind of keep a feel for that, and to find the sweet spot for you where you're challenged enough to grow and not become stale and not interested or whatever, and lose its effectiveness for you. But not too hard that it crushes your joy. And then when you find the sweet spot in the middle, it's important to kind of just check in ever so often and make sure you have what you need, challenge-wise and for your growth and things. But yeah, that's super important to get a feel for it. All right, well, that's pretty much it for today. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following along. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen. And I hope it helps you grow your love for God. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Radhe, 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 Radhe. Radhe, 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 Radhe.